The alien ship moved slowly through the black space, approaching a quiet planet near the edge of the galaxy. The crew on board belonged to the Varith Dominion, old, powerful empire that ruled hundreds of star systems. This planet, marked as Xylon 3, was believed to be abandoned. No life signs, no movement, no energy, just rock, dust, and ruins. Commander Threk stood near the viewing glass. His eyes studied the planet below, scan it again. He ordered, "I want every stone mapped." A young officer nodded. Scans confirmed no life, just structures very old, possibly human origin. That word human made the room quiet. Humans were strange creatures, dangerous, unpredictable, but they had not been seen in this part of space for hundreds of years. "Prepare to land," Threk said. "Let us see what Earth left behind." The ship landed gently on the gray surface. Dust swirled around its legs. The air outside was dry and cold. Buildings stood like broken bones, twisted and hollow. It was quiet, too quiet. 6 soldiers stepped out, first weapons ready. They moved through the ruins like shadows. The streets were cracked. Signs written in human language still hung, though the letters had faded, "Welcome to Nova 6. That was the colony's. "Name looks like they all died." One soldier said, "Nothing left, but ghosts." Then something happened. A small beep echoed through the air, just one, then another, and another commander. "We are picking up a signal," said the tech officer inside the ship. "It is coming from below the surface, and it is replying to our scan." Commander Threx frowned. "Impossible. This colony was destroyed long ago." "It is replying in human code," the officer added suddenly. A light blinked inside one of the broken buildings, a soft blue glow like a heartbeat in the dark. The soldiers moved closer, aiming their rifles as they stepped into the building. A screen on the wall came alive, static at first, then a clear image, a human face covered in dirt and scars, staring directly into the camera. The face spoke. The voice was calm. "You should not have come." The screen flickered and went black. Panic swept through. The team. Weapons were raised, scanners began to flash. "That was live," said the lead soldier. "Not a recording. Someone or something is still here." Commander Threx ordered all teams to regroup. He stood in silence, trying to make sense of it. A human colony this deep in space, alive. It was not possible. Then the ground shook a soft rumble. Then cracks formed beneath their feet. One of the soldiers stepped back his boot, landing on a loose panel. The metal gave way, and he fell through down into darkness. Unit 4 respond, shouted. "Rex?" No answer. The others looked down through the hole below. There was more than rock. There were corridors, machines, lights. A hidden world beneath the surface sealed the ship. Threx ordered, "We are not alone here inside the ship." Alarms blinked red. The scanners, which once showed silence, were now alive with movement, faint energy signatures, scattered human DNA traces, machinery waking up after a long sleep. Something was breathing down there, not an animal, not a person, the colony itself. A voice came again, but this time it was in the alien language, perfect and clear. "You scanned us. We scanned back. Now we see you." The team stood frozen. "Get him out of that hole," someone shouted. 2 soldiers climbed down to retrieve their fallen comrade. They found him unconscious but alive. His helmet was cracked, his face was pale, but something was etched into the glass of his helmet. From the inside, scratched by his own fingers, one word, awake back on the surface, Threx looked toward the horizon. A faint hum had started like a machine stretching after a long rest. This place was never dead. It was waiting, and now it was awake. Asterisk, the wind on Nova 6 was not natural. It carried no dust, no scent, no heat. It whispered through the broken buildings like it had a mind of its own. Commander Threk stood near the deep hole where his soldier had fallen. He stared down into the dark. Something was breathing down there. He could feel it inside the ship. The control room was in chaos. Lights blinked across the panels. Energy readings climbed higher. Silent systems hidden under the planet's crust had come alive for the first time in centuries. Nova 6 was speaking again. "Commander, the tech officer called the underground network is expanding. Something mechanical is growing down there. Growing." Threx narrowed his eyes. "Yes, like it is repairing itself or waking up." The recovered soldier lay inside a medical pod. He had not spoken since they pulled him out. His fingers were locked in a tight fist. His eyes moved, but he was not seeing the real world. He was watching something else, something only he could see. Then his lips moved, just 2 words they remember. Meanwhile, on the surface, the rest of the team spread out. A squad moved toward a structure marked as Command Bunker. The building looked half buried in rubble, but the door stood untouched. It was not locked. It opened for them inside. The lights turned on by themselves. Walls were covered in images of human soldiers, families, children. Weapons were mounted in glass cases. Maps showed the planet marked with defensive lines and energy fields. At the center of the room was a machine, old metallic with a glowing core. The lead alien soldier stepped closer. "This is not just a colony," he said. "This was a fortress." The device lit up as he approached. A human voice came from the machine. It spoke in perfect alien tongue. "This facility is under Nova 6 defense protocol. Are you human?" The soldier froze. "No." He replied. The machine paused. The room went dark, then the voice returned, deeper, colder. "Then you should not be here." The walls shifted from behind hidden panels. Drones flew out, not large, just small metal spheres, but fast, silent, deadly. They circled the aliens without touching, just watching Commander Threx receive the alert drone's activated defense system online. "They see us as intruders." He looked at the unconscious soldier again. His vitals were rising. Sweat poured from his skin. Suddenly he screamed. The scream echoed through the ship. At that same moment, the sky turned dark above the planet. Clouds of unknown origin began to form, black and thick, moving unnaturally fast. Lightning cracked between them. Though there was no storm system, the tech officer gasped. "Commander, something just took control of our ship's systems. We are locked out." Threx turned toward the window. The lights across the planet had formed a patina symbol, a human symbol, a warning. One of the soldiers inside the bunker touched a glowing panel. The machine responded again. "Welcome to Earth's last hope, Nova 6. You are trespassing on sacred ground." Suddenly they saw it. A shadow behind the glass wall, a figure tall, human-shaped, covered in armor that seemed fused to its body. Its eyes glowed faint blue. It stood still watching it. That a survivor, a soldier, whispered. The figure moved one step forward, then another, but it did not attack. It placed its hand on the glass, slowly, and on the screen beside it, a message appeared. "If Earth does not return for us, we become Earth." Commander Threx tried to respond. "This is a peaceful mission. We are explorers. We mean no harm," but the system did not answer him. Instead, it played a recording, a human voice, female calm to any who find this message. "We were left behind, forgotten, but we adapted. We became more than human, and if you stand here now, we have judged you as a threat." One of the alien soldiers panicked and fired at a drone. The bullet passed through, but the drone exploded in light, and then the rest activated. Drones swarmed the room, but they did not attack. They scanned, measured, watched, then stopped. The system spoke one final line before going silent. "You are not the first to come here, but you may be the last to leave." The drones returned to their panels. The doors shut behind the alien team. Commander Threx stood inside the ship, watching from the screen. The cold silence had broken. Nova 6 had spoken, and the galaxy would soon hear it scream inside the underground command bunker. The alien soldiers stood frozen. The lights had gone dark again. Only the machines hummed softly, as if breathing. No one spoke. Every corner of the room felt alive like the walls were listening. One of the soldiers whispered, "We should leave," but their leader shook his head. "Not yet there are answers here. We must know what happened to the humans." Another door unlocked on its own. Cold mist spilled out from the opening, and soft blue lights flickered inside. The soldiers stepped through carefully. The room was long and narrow, with walls lined by glass tubes. Inside each tube floated a humanized closed bodies, still cryo-sleep. The tech officer scanned one of the pods, still alive, vital signs low but stable. "This is a stasis chamber." "Why are they sleeping?" a soldier asked. "Why did no one come to wake them?" A deep voice answered, but not from a machine. It came from the shadows. They were told someone would return. The voice said, but no one ever did. From behind the last tube, a human stepped forward, not wearing armor like the other figure before this. One wore a black uniform with old Earth markings on the shoulder. His eyes were glowing slightly. His skin was pale, but his voice was strong. "My name is Commander, Roan of Nova 6, and you are standing in the graveyard of promises." The aliens raised their weapons, but Roan did not flinch. He walked calmly toward them. "We are not your enemies," said their leader. Roan stared at him. "No, but we remember those who were." He pointed toward a control panel on the wall. "Would you like to see what happened here?" The aliens hesitated, then nodded. Roan pressed a button. A holographic screen appeared in the air showing images from centuries ago. The past played like a nightmare. The video showed children training with weapons, teens learning to control combat drones, adults preparing for war, not against aliens, but against time. This colony, Roan said, was Earth's last survival test. We were sent here to build, to grow, to survive without contact. Another clip appeared, humans standing by a communications tower. The screen said signal lost, no response from Earth, no rescue, just silence. We waited. Roan continued year after year, but they forgot us. So we became something new. In the next scene, the humans were no longer wearing soft uniforms. They wore hard armor. They were modifying their bodies. Machines were built into their skin. Children had grown into warriors, without teachers, without hope. We built the Earth Core, a system to protect what we had left. One alien asked, "Why such heavy defenses? Why so much fear?" Roan looked at him, because after silence came visitors. Not like you, others, raiders, slavers, thieves. They came for what Earth forgot. We fought them. We buried them. The screen showed images of alien ships burning in Nova 6's sky. Commander Threx watched from the ship. The feed from his team streamed back in real time. He turned to his officers. "This is no ordinary colony. These humans became something else, something stronger." The medical officer called from the infirmary commander. The soldier who fell earlier, "He's awake," Threx, hurried to the medical room. The soldier sat upright, staring into nothing. "I saw it," he said softly. "I saw what they went through. They were alone. They screamed, but no one listened." He looked into Threx. His eyes, they changed, not just in body, in mind. Their pain is not just history, is still alive in them. Back in the bunker, Roan walked past the cryo tubes. "These ones stayed behind." He said they volunteered to sleep so that others could fight. A siren echoed through the chamber. The drones returned, hovering overhead. "They are not here to attack." Roan said they are part of our memory. Suddenly, a new message flashed across every screen, written in human text. "Unknown ship detected in orbit. Commander Threx." Read the alert on his own ship, another ship from where Roan looked toward the ceiling. "You are not the only ones who scan old stars. Others follow your trail." One alien soldier whispered, "You brought enemies here." Roan nodded slowly. "They are not our enemies. They are yours, and now they will find you." The Earth core lights brightened, defenses activated. All of Nova 6 was waking up, but this time it was not to fight for survival. It was to protect a truth no empire was ready to learn. The walls of the bunker began to hum, not loud, just enough for the aliens to feel it under their skin, like a warning echoing through their bones. Lights flickered above, casting long shadows of the human cryopods lined across the chamber. One by one, the stasis tubes lit up there, systems whispering to life. Commander Roan stared at the alien soldiers. His voice was steady. "You triggered the system. Now it prepares for war because it remembers pain outside." The sky above Nova 6 had turned deep red. A ship unknown, aggressive, and large had broken into the system. It was not from the Vareth Dominion. It was something else, something older. Commander Threx watched it appear on his display. Its shape was black, like a jagged blade. He turned to his crew, shields up, prepare weapons. But the ship above made no move. It simply hovered, watching Dot inside the bunker. Roan stepped to a control panel. He placed his hand on it. "Will decide if you are enemies or witnesses." The drones surrounding the aliens turned slowly. They began scanning again. Red light danced over the armor of the Dominion soldiers, reading every detail, every weapon, every heartbeat, every piece of data inside their suits. Then one of the drones stopped in front of the Varith medic. Its light turned green, dark from the ceiling. A speaker spoke. "This unit carries pain. This one knows loss. This one is not a threat." Roan looked at them carefully. The system knows fear, but it respects grief. A screen on the wall flashed to life, showing an old Earth logo. The voice of a woman filled the room again. "You who enter Nova 6 understand this. We are not what Earth left behind. We are what Earth created by forgetting the aliens remained silent." Then one soldier finally asked, "Why stay here? Why not leave and rejoin your people?" Roan smiled, but it was a cold smile. "There were no people left for us. Earth collapsed. Empires fell, but we survived." He stepped to the cryotube of a young girl. Her hands were folded across her chest. Her dog tags read, "Captain Myra, Roan, my daughter," he said softly. "Trained at 13, lead at 16, died at 20, buried alive in this pod so that she could be brought back someday." That is the story of Nova 6. The aliens looked at each other. Nothing in their training prepared them for this. This was not just a mission. It was a graveyard full of anger, love, and memory outside the black ship above Nova 6 powered up its weapons. "Commander," said Threx, his officer, "it is targeting us." The screen flickered again inside the bunker. Earth core now displayed the enemy ship's data, ship identity, exiled raider, class, species unknown, threat level, extreme. Roan's voice turned sharp. "That ship destroyed 3 colonies during our blackout years. It feeds on survivors. It must not leave." Commander Threx opened a channel. "We are not allied with it. We did not bring it. Let us help. Stop it." Roan nodded slowly. "Then you must fight with us and obey Nova 6. The alien leader hesitated. He was Vareth. His kind never took orders from others, but something inside him knew resisting Nova 6 was not survival. It was suicide. "We agree," Threx said, "but we will not kneel." Roan stepped forward. "You will not kneel. You will stand beside us. That is the only way." Then alarms screamed. The black ship launched a missile toward the Dominion vessel. The sky split with fire before the missile could strike. An invisible shield formed above the bunker and ship. It stopped the blast completely. The aliens looked up in shock. Rome spoke softly. "Earth cores, shield net still works back in the control room. Panels lit up. The long-forgotten weapons of Nova 6 were ready again. Ancient turrets hidden under the rocks moved slowly into place. The surface of the planet opened like a living machine. "This planet is not just a colony. Roan said it is a soldier." Suddenly, voices echoed from the drones, children's voices. Nova 6 online orders. Roan looked at the alien commander. "You wanted to know what we became. Now you see it. The ghosts of Nova 6 still follow orders. One of the alien soldiers whispered this place. It remembers everything. Roan placed his hand on the command panel. He said only one word: fire. The skies over Nova 6 cracked with fire. As Roan's voice echoed the single command fire, the sleeping planet woke in full from under mountains and dust-covered valleys. Massive turrets rose like silent giants. Metal towers once hidden beneath the colony's surface stretched upward. Energy pulsed through ancient circuits, flowing into long-forgotten weapons. The colony was no longer silent. It was roaring. Dot above them, the Black Raider ship fired again. Its cannons glowed red, releasing another wave of plasma toward the Dominion vessel. Commander Threx? His ship shook from the impact, but the Nova 6 shield dome held strong. No damage, no breach. The Dominion soldiers inside the bunker stood in stunned silence. One of them whispered, "How is this even possible?" Roan's eyes were locked on the screen. In his voice was cold and calm. We had nothing but time, so we prepared on a nearby display. EarthCore tracked the enemy ship's movement. The Raider twisted through the sky like a predator, but the colony's defenses adjusted with perfect accuracy. Turrets locked on targeting systems aligned, a red circle blinked. Roan did not shout. He did not smile. He simply said, "Now!" A deafening beam of blue energy shot upward from the largest cannon. It cut through the sky like a spear of lightning. It struck the enemy ship in the side. Metal burned. Parts of the hull exploded outward into space. The ship turned in panic. Its formation broken, but Nova 6 was not finished. More cannons activated, missiles launched. The sky above the colony became a storm of light. The Raider ship tried to retreat, engines flashing, but it was too late. The final blow came from a hidden orbital railgun buried under Nova 6's surface. It fired once. The shot pierced through the center of the fleeing ship. The Raider exploded in total silence. Only light and debris remained in the bunker. No one cheered, no one spoke. They had all seen what happened. A single human colony had destroyed a threat that most galactic fleets would fear. Roan turned away from the screens. "Now you understand," Commander Threx, still watching from his own vessel, opened a channel. "You saved us?" Roan replied, "No, we saved Nova 6. You were just nearby." There was no anger in his voice, no pride, just fact, threats. Asked, "What will you do now?" Roan walked toward the cryo chamber, placing a hand on the glass covering his daughter's face. "This planet will sleep again, but not forget." He looked back at the aliens. "Tell your empire what you saw. Tell them Nova 6 is not a myth. It is real. It is ready." One of the alien soldiers stepped forward. "Why let us go?" Roan stared at him. "Because we are tired of killing." He tapped a command into the panel. The Earth core systems dimmed. The lights across the bunker faded to blue. Drones returned to their storage. The defense grid powered down. The heartbeat of the planet slowed, but never stopped outside. The dust began to fall again. Nova 26 was returning to silence. Commander Threx prepared his ship for departure. As the engines powered up, he stood at the viewing screen one last time. Below Nova 6 looked like any other lifeless rock. Quiet, still, but he knew better now that planet was watching as the Dominion ship lifted into orbit. The scanners blinked. The colony's signal vanished, completely cloaked, hidden. As if it had never existed on board, a message appeared on every screen. "This was your only warning. Do not come back. Final scene deep beneath the surface of Nova 6. Roan sat in a dark chamber. The lights were low. He spoke softly into a recorder to Earth. "If you are still out there, we survived. We waited. We changed. We became stronger than you ever imagined." He paused, looking toward the cryo chambers. "But we also became something else. Something you may not understand." Roan ended the recording. He stood, walked to the command core, and entered the final sequence. The planet's systems returned to sleep mode, and then silence. Dot Nova to 6 was quiet again, but the galaxy had already heard its voice in.